What's up, guys? This is gonna be a video about what's the best home defense gun. Um, in general, I got you a little bit of gun porn out there. I just had this out shooting, so I figured I'd put it up there. She's sexy, ain't she? She's a little dirty, still sexy. Like them a little dirty. But anyway, I'm not gonna tell you the exact type of gun which is the best, or um, model. It's for you to decide because there isn't a definite answer. It depends on your setting. I can give you some scenarios and everything like that, maybe some thought for you to put to your own thought and figure out your own game plan, because without knowing the actual house and your land setup and the floor plan and kids or not, I can't tell you that. But anyway, there's just some tips. Everybody pretty much knows that for home defense, shotguns are about the best you can get. Um, but there's instances where shotguns may not be the best. Like if you have a lot of land, maybe because like me, there, shotgun. I would say 75 yards is your most people's comfort range with a shotgun. Even buckshot will reach out that far, but it does got a pretty good spread pattern. I mean, they will reach further out, but I'll say 50 yards is most people in real comfort zone with a shotgun. So maybe if you got a lot of land, you wouldn't want to walk outside with one. But now I'm going to do a video on about different types of shots, but double aught buck in 2 3/4, 3 if you got kids and you're worried about over penetration, like outside, depends on what kind of houses you got. The 3-inch double aught buck has got a lot more oomph behind it. It will penetrate quite a bit. The 2 3/4 will go through drywall. Don't get me wrong, you're standing on the side of drywall, someone shoots it with a 12 gauge, you're going to get messed up pretty bad. But, okay, but that's with most guns, they're going to go through drywall. So, you kind of need to take into account for that, to know your set of surroundings. Tell your family member, hey, if you hear gunshots in the middle of the night, get down, cover up, but you still need to be aware. So, but you can load the shotguns up with like number 6, number 4, smaller pellets. They're going to have less penetration to be safe. A lot of people are underneath the impression that just because they're shooting birdshot that it's just going to wound them. Not the case. I mean, if that's the case, then the judge is pretty much thrown out. The judge, I don't care what kind of rounds you get, it's not going to have much penetration, and the 12 gauge birdshot's probably going to do a lot more damage. So don't, everybody likes the judge. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people like the judge. And I'm not saying it's bad or good, but I'm just telling you, if you like the judge, and you think the judge will do enough damage, don't throw out birdshot. But you could load up a birdshot, and I see a lot of people that load 2 or 3 different rounds in their gun. That's too much to think about when somebody's broke in your house in the middle of the night. I would keep it short and simple. Don't worry about slugs, because that slugs, you might as well be using a rifle. Anyway, but that's just some of the things about shotguns. Shotguns are excellent. You cannot go wrong with a shotgun for inside your house defense. But you are limited in ammo. If you have a pump, then you probably got 5, 6 rounds. If you got a tube, you might have 3 or 4 rounds, depending on that. Something else you got to take into consideration. If it's more than one person, maybe you miss, maybe who knows how it happens. Then you're limited on your rounds. So that's something you have to think about. That's double barrel shotgun. You got a couple rounds, does the job. You don't see them too much, but I'd still like to own one. It would do the job, but 2 rounds you have to reload. Semi-automatic shotgun, as long as you're using double aught buck, I say with most of them you're doing pretty good, but they're not as reliable, and that's one of the things that makes a shotgun great, the reliability of a pump shotgun. And the pump shotgun is fast. Most people will tell you that the semi-automatics kick a lot harder, and it's harder to stay on target. With a pump, you can shoot pretty fast with one. It's really not going to matter. You can fire one almost as fast as a semi-auto. It's been done by people that's not professionals. You can look them up on YouTube. Anyway, so then you go to the rifle. Rifles are kind of iffy. Depends on your place. Like me, I have a rifle ready to go because I have a lot of property, and at nighttime sometimes you'll hear something and you'll have to go check it out. And rifle is a lot for not takedown and distance and everything, is a great caliber, or a great option, not caliber. But for inside the home, you got people in the house or neighbors, not a good choice. Most of them penetrate quite a bit. 223 isn't so bad. You get hollow points, it knocks it down some more, but that's not really a thing. I suggest if you have one, maybe just keep it ready for outside, because it's a lot better than a pistol, longer range than a shotgun. But you know, take that for how you will. Like me, mine right now is an AR-15, but right beside it I have an AK-47. Either one can be ready to go. Okay, then you got your standard pistol. If I'm sleeping and my house is broken into, that's what I have ready to go, is a pistol. At that moment, spur of the moment, jump out of bed, I grab my pistol. I don't have a shotgun sitting there because I think that I can suppress fire enough if it's bad enough threat, and I don't have time to get to my gun safe. You also need a plan. Plan is the number one thing to have with any of it, but it kind of depends on. For best handgun, you can go with high capacity. Let's say this 9mm. I have 18 rounds in this. Most of the time, I got my 1911 45 beside me, 9 rounds in it. That's enough for me most times, but I can get to another gun. That's not my only option. Sometimes it'd be this gun, sometimes it might not be. You need to be comfortable with your guns no matter what it is. If you pick a pistol, and for caliber, I would say the best home defense calibers, because if you're worried about penetration through drywall, you know, if you got kids, wife, what have you, 9mm, all these are going to go through drywall. They're all, you know, they all got penetration to them, but you're not gonna. You want to minimize as much as possible. You don't want one bullet sailing through one side of your house and out the other. You want to get as minimal penetration as possible with maximum damage. The 45 shines in that because it's got about the minimal penetration you can ask for, and it's got the max damage you can get in without having the penetration. But there's other calibers shine too. 40 isn't too bad. 9mm isn't too bad. 380, you know, there's a lot of rounds in between that. I mean, because you don't worry about velocity. 38 special. I mean, you know, the small ones like 25, 32. But I would go with the highest caliber that you can get, or you have access to, or just goes along with your system, and still without worrying as much about penetration. But still, you need to really think about this and think it over and over and over. You get it welded into your head about backstops. When someone's in your house, worry about your family, and realize, think about it. If somebody's down your hallway, if someone's turned around this corner and you shoot them and they're looking around that corner, who's going to be on the other side of that, you know, wall? Now another thing when it comes to capacity, you have to think about is, like, okay, most of the time I have a 1911 beside me. I got 9 rounds. I think that probably it's only going to be one guy, maybe 2. I take in for effect that I'll probably miss a couple rounds. You know, maybe I'll fire if they're shooting back at me, just to give me a second to recuperate, to relocate, get behind something. Because you're going to be woken up, you're going to be shaky, your adrenaline's going to be pumping, you're not going to know what's happening. You're probably going to miss a time or two. That's where high capacity like the 9mm shines. It's not got as much knockdown, doesn't do as much damage, but yeah, I have 18 rounds. and that's where 40 caliber really shines, because it's in the middle, because it's not got crazy penetration, but there's a lot more damage, but you don't have enough. Now, 6 people come storming at you. With 1911, if you only have 1 magazine ready, you're probably screwed. With a shotgun, you're probably screwed. Might take more. It might take more than a couple rounds to stop them with the 9mm. But really, if you really have got to done something crazy or wrong, or have a lot somewhere with a lot of value for someone to keep into a gunfight with you like that. I mean, once shots are fired, they'll probably try to get the hell out of there. You know, it just depends on your scenario. These are just some of the things I can tell you. And also, like, if you have your rifle set up, you have a lot of land, having a light, or maybe like using lasers for outside. I don't like lasers myself, but if it's the way you shoot, you know, not having something on your gun and it costs your life isn't worth it. When it comes to your life, there's no amount of money you could pay to be worth it. So I think that covers the most I can think about right now. On another note, make sure you're comfortable with your gun. You know, that's the main thing. Whatever gun it is, whether it's a single shot break open 410, just be comfortable with it. Know everything about the gun. Have it thought out. Be able to instinctively shoot it, because you're going to be nervous. You don't, even if you have a break open 410, you don't want to have it loaded, bring it up. You got to drop on them to save your life, and the hammer not be cocked on it or what have you. You know, just make sure you're familiar with whatever gun. You know, a lot of us, we have mini guns. Some got different safeties. Some of them don't have any safety. Some of them we leave loaded. Some of them we don't. Make sure you know your gun is always that way, and just know it to the fullest. Be 100% on it. Be 100%. Make sure it's 100% reliable. That's another thing. Instead of owning 7 or 8 different kind of guns, it's better to have one 100% reliable gun if the other ones ain't. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope this might help you. Thanks.